This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of INCRadio Mountain States. Hello, everyone. I am Marita Mayak, broadcasting live from Denver, Colorado. Thank you so much for being here. A quick time check here in Denver, Colorado. It is Saturday, September 7th. I think that is the first weekend of September. Can't believe it. It's already September. So September 7th, 2024. It is 5:05 p.m. here in Colorado Mountain Daylight Time. But of course, over there in Nevada, in the Pacific Daylight Time, it is 4:05 p.m. But in the Philippines, it is Sunday, September 8th, 7:05 in the morning. So magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Thank you so much for tuning in to us right now, wherever you are tuning in from. We also see Team Live Chat being there, so we appreciate that. We hope that you will stay tuned. Keep on tuning in, Team Live Chat, and join us in our discussion today. But yes, today here on INCRadio Mountain States, we are talking about effective leadership skills. What are the skills that makes a leadership effective? We will be talking about that. Of course, we have that experience as leaders in the church, but also outside of the church, but also the leaders ahead of us. What have you learned from them? And that's what we will be talking about today. But of course, today we are also celebrating Brother Eduardo V. Manalos, our beloved executive minister in the Church of Christ Iglesianicristo, as for his 15 years anniversary dynamic leadership in the Church of Christ Iglesianicristo. So that is September 7th. So in the Philippines, it is already September 8th. And with that, I do actually want to read Brother Justin Ramos, one of our ministers here in the District of Mountain States. He's actually our multimedia advisor. Yes, right. Sorry, I always get confused. But yes, so he's greeting Brother Eduardo Vimanalo. Good afternoon, brethren. Excited for another awesome MTS Science Radio. Happy 15th year anniversary of leadership to our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo Vimanalo. We love you, Paul. And he's tuning in from Gilbert. He's over there in Gilbert, Arizona. So please keep putting your greetings there. And then we will we will do our best to read that for you. And of course, join us on our discussion. But of course, I'm not alone. I do want to give away. I'm not sure if he's able to talk, but we'll say hi to Ron Pobletti, our actually the director here in multimedia, but also here in radio.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday, Sunday, and also happy September.
Yes. Seriously, can't believe it. It's already September. We did hear some background. Maybe he'll tell us later. I don't know if he wants to talk to. Where are you right now?
Well, actually, I'm here at the Anderson Chapel. We're just wrapping up actually our Songs of Salvation tech run. So we had all the different locales here practicing and getting ready for tomorrow's event, which will be at I'm not sure what high school, but anyhow, we do plan to live stream the event. So everyone, please tune in tomorrow. We will send the link out once we get that established. But tomorrow will be our Songs of Salvation here in the Mountain States District, and it will be the a cappella edition. And I wish they were all here. Unfortunately, 4 o'clock is our airtime, but they were here practicing. I wanted to give you all a preview, but we're wrapping up right now, and they just finished.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Yes, before the show, everyone actually we could listen to them. They were really good. So yeah, we're excited for tomorrow. And remember that Acapella. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your own voice, right?
Yeah. If you want, I can sing, but no, I better not.
Okay, maybe next time. But yes, thank you so much for that. Yes, we will actually get more updates from him later and give us more details tomorrow. For tomorrow. All right, and of course, we have here someone who is actually one of the leaders in the church. Just for the local level, but also district level, and he actually has his own e-commerce as well with his wife. And so with that, he's also of course a leader in his own company. And with that, we'll go ahead and introduce him, Brother Dap Kabeltis. Hello, Brother Dap.
Hello po, everyone. It's me again. If you've seen me before, then you've seen me again, right? So, but anyways, I appreciate the time for you guys having me here today. Again, I'm Brother Dab Cabeltis, Brother Ralph. I'm in North Las Vegas. Shout out to North Las Vegas
Yeah.
and District of Mountain States po, and of course my family and friends as well.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Dap. Yes, Team Live Chat, do you know Brother Dap? I'm sure you do. Yes, thank you so much for joining us again. We're so excited for you to be able to join us, especially with this topic. You know that you have a lot to be able to say on this, so we're super excited for that. So yeah, going right into it. Everyone, Team Live Chat, Brother Dap, Brother Ron. Like today we will be talking about effective leadership skills, but of course, Dap, like one of the things that I know this is also very very important is a great leader has integrity. So, someone who is honest and has a strong set of values, and also accountability. I think a great leader, has to have a strong, being able to own up to their mistakes. So, with that, how does a leader, with your experience, from your experience, how does a leader who is honest, they have a strong set of values, own up to their mistakes, help you be a better member of that team, but also as a person? Because I think it kind of continues on.
Yes, well, thanks for the question. No, that's a pretty good question. But when it comes to that, so in short, to answer that, you have to lead by example. If you want to see some dedication, you want to see some productive people in your team, you have to embody that first.
Mhm.
They have to see that in you, because sometimes it's not what you say, but it's what you do that they see, and it depends on what they feel. They have to feel that you believe in what you're saying. So
Mm,
lead by example po is a very good one when it comes to accountability, integrity, and to see the things that you want to see. We have to embody it first.
that's true. Like, don't
Okay.
just say it, right? Like, you actually have to embody it. Brother Ron, do you have an addition to that? Like being able to, uh, a leader who has integrity and being able to accountable with their mistakes. How does that help you? Because you're definitely a leader in the church, not just in the church, maybe even like outside. I'm not sure if you're able to talk to us, but in the past, like, because you didn't start as a leader, right? With us here, but how does that help you with accountability and integrity? How does that help you to become a member of the team, but also as a person in general, better person in general?
Well, as far as leading, I mean, currently I am leading the district multimedia as their district multimedia director. In the past, I have actually been district CFO president, Kadiwa Bukod and
Mm,
Binhi in the past. So yes, guess you can say I've some leadership skills, experience behind me.
yeah.
So, but as far as exactly what Brother Dap said, you kind of have to lead by example. You need to be also part of that team. You're leading the team. You should be a part of that team too, not just leading, but to be with them also. So, as you can see, even with uh, our district multimedia, I'm out there with my camera, also
True.
filming with the team, and also out here on radio helping our producers direct behind the scenes. So, yeah, usually I'm just leading behind the scenes during our broadcast. So it's being part of the team. Really, it's just being one with everyone.
That is true. I haven't had the pleasure to work with Dap here, but with Ron, I have been able to, and I can really say he's a great leader. Like what he said, he's there with us. Like he never feels us like he's not there. Like he is hands off. Like he doesn't handhold us, which is a good thing. But we always know that he's there for support, which is a really, really good thing. And that's why it's very important to have an integrity and be able to accountable on your mistakes, because as a leader, if like what Nav has mentioned, you have to embody it, right? So when a leader makes mistakes and they own up to it, it's kind of good to see that, oh, okay, it's also okay to make mistakes and be able to learn from it and continue to grow. Sister Norma Sonson from Team Life Chat has mentioned, effective leadership is the ability to guide, inspire, and influence others. That's really true. That is very true. So thank you so much for that. Also, I just want to read a few more comments here from Sister Malkanukum, our district minister's wife. Uh, Greetings to all the brethren, officers, ministers' wives, and children of Mountain States from the Nukum family. There you go, from Henderson, of course. We also have Sister Ellen Docena, one of the ministers' wives as well. Yes, she's tuning in from New Mexico. We also have Remlin Mendoza. Oh, yes, they were here for the family fun day, so she's saying hi to my mom. But yes, thank you again, Team Live for being there. We also have Carona from Las Vegas. We also have here Sir Kaylin from Salt Lake City, Carlos Salinda Bayada as well from Las Vegas. Keep tuning in. Oh, wait, actually, we do want to read this as well. Canueña Ledesma, congratulations to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our leader's executive minister. Greetings from INCRadio Caribbean. There you go. They actually want to promote, so I will actually read this. Live broadcast every Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so that is 10:30 for Mountain Daylight Time and 9:30 for Pacific Daylight Time. We love you, Paul. That's for Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. All right. And then so with that, we talked about that, being able to have an integrity, strong set of values, accountability for your mistakes, being honest. But also as a leader, it's very important to also be resilient, right? Because things aren't always going to go the right way with your projects, with your team, like your own business, right? With Dap here, who has his own business with his wife. So it's not always going to go that way. So being able to resilient, to make sure that we're able to take us to be able to solve those issues, right? And being able to be flexible so we can continue to provide solutions to those issues that may arise. And so with that, being courageous and being able to continue on and not being afraid. What's your experience on that, Dap? Especially with, not just in the church, but also with your business. Like, how important is that to be able to have the resilience?
Thanks, Marie, for the question. So, when it comes to resiliency, uh, you have to know what you want. You have to know why are you there for. For example, if we're talking about leaders, we have to really know why are we leading. What's our goal? What's our vision? Where are we going? Those kind of things that will help you push when things get tough. Because sometimes it gets really tough. You
True.
know, like you just want to throw in the towel for whatever
True.
reason, but God bless you for another day, and we can't afford to waste any day. Not even an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Every hour is so precious
True.
to move forward in life. And when it comes to resiliency, flexibility and courage, um, as you go through the process of whatever you're going, or for example, if you're a leader leading people, um, thinking a day as a gift to become better, to move forward in life and to get what you want out of life. I think that will help you a lot when it comes to being resilient. Just know your purpose,
Mm.
purpose, and know exactly the reasons why you do what you do.
So
Apo.
know your purpose. So always go back to that, right? Like, you've mentioned it. Sometimes not only that things are tough, sometimes it's really, really tough that you'll just want to give up, right? But always go back to your purpose, I guess, right? Being able to remember why you're doing it. Yeah. So that's a good thing, being able to do that. I admit, like I mean, I think it's also as we get older, we become more resilient. We get better in being able to be flexible. So that's a good thing. I do see, Ron, you've been nodding your head. Anything you want to add to that? To maybe you want to impart your knowledge to us.
As far as resilience, actually that comes from experience.
Yeah,
You actually go through a lot of things, and good and bad things,
true,
and
true.
that's what helps you have that experience to be resilient. And when times get tough, you can overcome it because you've already had that experience.
That's true. So it is, like as we get older, we become more resilient because we have gone through it in the past, right? Knowing that, okay,
Exactly.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, so especially for us as members of the church of Christ, we have our Almighty God. So we're always tied into that. But yes, that is completely true. So yeah, so with that, it's also important. I think it was Ron who has mentioned it earlier. I can't remember. But it's also important to continue to learn, right? It's not. I mean, okay, I love routines. Okay, for sure, I love routines. Like once I'm able to do it, I'm like, okay, I'm so good at it. I can just do that. But it's also very, very important to continue to learn. For me, I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner, but I also admit that I get into routines, a little bit. But when you're a leader, leading a team, leading a team in the church, but also if you have your own business, you always have to be able to pivot, adapt, and like being ahead actually. So for those, for example, COVID happened, right? So it shut down a lot of the businesses. If you can't pivot that quickly, continue to learn, then you might have gotten left behind. So with that, what can you say about that? Why is it important to not get stuck in routines and continue to improve, even though we might be so good at something already?
Yes, Marie, thanks for that. No, so it happened to me,
Oh,
from my experience.
yeah.
I got too lax, maybe I slack off a little bit because of
Mm.
some success in life
Yeah,
and some other things, right? So there's the trap right there.
that's true.
Because your routine is very important. That's very
Mm.
important to have a routine, and so you have less time to think on your schedules and what to do, and so you can focus more of your time in your brain energy to the more important things because you already have a routine laid out. And so when it comes to your question about the routine, getting stuck right there.
Mm.
Learning is very important, like as we all know. And you said that you're a good learner, or you want
Like,
to always learn,
yeah.
which I just learned too that what gets you here can't take you there, right? So the knowledge that I had before when I had some
Mm.
success a little bit can take me to the next level. And so that's what I understood from that experience because we got hit really hard. And so,
Mm.
but then with God's help, we're still here. I'll be honest in that because we can't do anything of our own. And
Yeah.
so we just keep moving forward. Like I said, if you know your why and if you really have big dreams that you want to go after for and you don't want to waste time,
Mm.
you go after it, you will just keep moving forward. Routines are very important, and getting stuck. Some call it maybe a failure or something, but it was just a feedback. If you fail, that means you're doing something. You're going after something.
It's true.
Fail, you're not a failure. It was just what you did didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just a feedback. Then do it again better next time
Yeah.
with knowledge this time.
You learn from
Mm.
mistakes or those failures, right? That is very true. I know, like, one of the things that I've learned in life is that if you've never failed, that means you've never tried something new, because you're always afraid to fail. Yeah, so don't be afraid to fail. You know, embrace failure. I think it's very, very important because once you're able to embrace failure, you're not gonna think of it as. I mean, yeah, you might get down for a bit, but like what Dab has mentioned, you learn from your mistakes and you know how to do it better next time. And that's very important because not being afraid to fail, that will actually put you in more success in your dreams. Yeah, and actually I agree with you. I had pivoted in my career. Before I was in IT, now I'm in completely different supply chain management, but I did study business before. So like what you had mentioned, I actually got stuck because like it's like you got comfortable, it's like, oh, and you never realize, oh, I gotta do other things, and now that I'm actually in a new career, I realize I like this better and this is what I fit more for. So continue to learn and continue to pivot. um, Ron, what about you? So you've actually done the same career, right? But as in media, multimedia, like graphics and everything like that, you have to be very, very good in continuing to learn. Why is that important? How is it important is continuous learning? especially as a
Well,
leader?
in my line of field, in media, I've been involved with all sorts of media, to be honest.
Oh,
And the thing is, you mentioned routine. It's good to have a routine, but you have to update that routine as
really?
time goes on because technology changes so quickly, and there's new ways of processes and so on that may not work with your old routine. So you do have to keep up and keep up with what I like to do and especially during my career, I
Mhm.
kept moving with the times. I started off my career as a graphic designer back in the day when there was no computers.
Oh,
Um, I'm kind of, I guess I'm kind of aging myself,
no,
but
it's
I,
okay.
I, I went to school not learning on the computer.
The
I had to
computer
do it
stuff,
the
yeah,
long way. I mean, when you talk about typesetting and so on, it was actually typesetting, manually,
yeah.
and that was my education. But then when the computer came to play, and with learning all this new software, I really didn't go to school for it. I actually taught
Yeah,
myself because I knew that that was going to be the future and something that I had to learn as time went on. So as desktop publishing became the thing to do, I was already into multimedia
mhm.
with video animation and so on. And when that became the in thing, I was already doing web pages. So you kind of have to, if not keep up, be a step ahead of the game so that you know, you definitely be ahead, but you'll definitely be current with the new processes.
Exactly. Be ahead. So I mentioned earlier about pivoting, but it's even more important to get ahead, be ahead, right? Um, I just want to say, like we heard here, uh, Ron actually started without computer. If he and he's been doing it for years, like with this media graphics, all this, there's a publishing, all of this. If he didn't get with the time, he would have been left behind. He would probably have done other things by now, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, and like when you mentioned, technology is so fast, it's changing so fast right now. So all I can really say is to everyone who are tuning in is that yes, technology is here. I'm sorry, but it is here. So use it for your advantage. I mean, don't allow it to like be your life, but use it to your advantage because definitely it's a good thing. I mean, without technology, we wouldn't be able to do this, right now on this radio, and I wouldn't be able to talk to Dap and Ron here through video call, right? To be able to live stream and like in YouTube. So yeah, embrace technology, use it uh, for your advantage. And like what my mom said over there, always embrace changes. I'd also just want to greet a few from live chat, team live chat, who are tuning in from others districts. We actually have Sister Kristen Andoy. Good morning, brethren. Greetings from Padilla, Rizal. That's Philippines. So thank you so much for tuning in. Also, Carowena Banal. Greetings to all the brethren. Happy watching, Paul. Thank you so much. And yeah, to everyone who are tuning in, we really do appreciate that. All right. So we talked about leadership, how important it is, like as your own, but it's also very important because we have people that we are leading, or maybe they are leading us, right? So gratitude, being grateful to them, just because you're a leader, right? That Ron, you're both leaders, in your own. Uh, it's important to show gratitude to the people who are following you, even though you are the leader, even though you are at the top of them, and be able to ask them to do things. But why is that important? To be able to show gratitude, to be able to make your followers, even if they are employees, that you are grateful for them. Let's start with you, Dap, on that one.
Yeah, so being grateful to the people you lead, right? It's very important because leaders must think of people first before achieving progress. Because when we're dealing with people, people have a lot of things, emotions, capabilities,
True.
skills, something like that. And so we have to focus first on like knowing the people you're working with, trying to influence them in a good way, not to boss them around, but
Yeah,
try to encourage them, and then always applaud them or
true.
appreciate them in everything they do, in every step of the way. If they commit mistakes or something, just help them out. Always understand the people you lead, get to know them, appreciate them, invest time and energy with them. And so I think you're going to go a long way with that.
For sure, you said it. People is very important. From the most important when it comes to leading, right? But yeah, you've mentioned it. Don't. It's not to boss them around. It's to encourage them. Yeah, you do have a task that you need to accomplish. You have projects you need to accomplish. Even if you did hire them, it's there's still people, right? And they can always choose to work for someone else, right? So people first, that's very very important. So like what you said, make them feel important, because like what you said, people are complicated, they have emotions, they have things that are going through, so it's just always important to make them feel great, yeah, because like even if you are the leader and you are tasked to delegate in order for projects to get done, it's still very important. I know I love leaders who make me feel that, because I'm also human, like what you said. I don't want to feel like I'm being bossed around. Ron, you are a great leader. I never feel like you are bossing us around, but you're also grateful. But how important is that? And can kind of talk maybe where did you learn it? Because being able to, always feel grateful to those even though they are following you, yeah.
Well, as a leader, you are responsible for leading your team. And just like any team, a sports team, for example, if you're the quarterback, you need to be that leader to win that game. So it's the same thing. There's so many different types of leadership leadership skills. For me personally, it's it, I like to be part of that team, even though I'm leading. I will still be in the trenches with them and working
Mhm.
side by side with them, and also mentoring them, because you want to build leaders that from people that you are leading. So
Yeah,
there will be one day when I can't lead this, where I'm hoping the rest of you will continue on with our endeavors that we do. And but the only way to learn that is for us leaders to teach you as well, how to proceed. So it's hard. Leadership is very hard.
it
It's not
is.
it's not that easy,
Mhm.
and I know you'll have you want to maintain a good relationship with your team.
Exactly.
So that's why it is. I mean, yeah, I will delegate, but it's more of I will delegate because mainly because that's your specialty.
Yeah,
If
true.
you're a producer for our radio show, I will lean on you. I will be there with you and I'll support
Hmm.
you. But that's my job as your leader. But for you, I'm hoping that you will take that experience and learn those skills to continue on.
Exactly. You mentioned it. One of my favorite things about a leader is that they have that belief of a great leader actually is able to create more leaders, so yeah, because like you're not just there to lead them forever, and that also shows humility. And like we went back to earlier, very very first question, what first thing what we talked about is accountability and integrity, right? If a leader is humble, has that humility, they won't feel bad that they're creating more leaders out of their following, because they wanted to continue to grow, like what Ron has mentioned, for the duties that we have, but also with your business, right? You want to be able to continue to be able to get more leaders out of your followers, and I think that is a great thing. And in order to be able to do that, I think from my experience, from what I've seen, is that is a humble leader, not being able to be afraid to delegate to those, and being able to say, okay, you can do that. I won't feel bad that you can do that, because it's a good thing. It's a great testament to you that you were able to create more leaders out of that. Dap, you've mentioned earlier about uh, people are complicated and you have to have respect for them, being like empathetic to them, being compassionate. Yeah, so from what your experience, because again, you didn't just start as a leader, so you have had leaders ahead of you. How have you learned from them, like that, okay, that is very very important, and because you embody the same thing, that it's important to respect your followers, to be able to have compassion for them and understand them. But how did you get there? How did you learn from maybe previous leaders before you?
Yeah, so thanks for the question, Marie. But so what I've learned, I would say from my previous leaders, I would say mentors, right? That
Yeah,
I worked with before. You know, I'd say that leadership is just a position until it's proven, right?
true. I like
And
that.
they somehow proved that to me because why? Because I felt that we were working as a team. Like I mean something to them, right?
Yeah,
I'm not just like their tool or something to make money or something. But I felt like I was a family. I think that's very important that as we're leading our department or the people under us, um, make sure that they feel that we are a team or we are a family, not like we're using them as a tool, right?
yeah, true.
They
I like
have
that.
to feel that. They have to feel that, and then, like I said, you want them to offer not just a helping hands, but you want them to offer their heart, and so we can go a long way with that. Mhm.
I like that. Treat them as a family instead of a tool. A tool just means there means to an end, right? So, but treating them as family, you don't treat family like horrible, right? So, yeah, that's a good thing. I really like that. That really touched me when you said they had to have the heart, right? When they're doing things for you too, when they're doing things for the task, for the project, for your business. So yeah, that's true. Treat them as families. That's a good thing to be able to do. Be able to have the thought of in leading that way. Like what you mentioned earlier, we don't end up bossing people around, right? So Ron, like life can be difficult, right? People are going through things. I've seen this on you that you are very understanding of us, So, but how do you get there? Because like you have tasks to get done, and then you're like, ah. But how do you become patient? Like yeah, treating them as family, but how do you do that? Like I'm just being understanding.
A lot of sacrifice. Well, I mean, and that's where, being a leader, you have to have respect for your team. And, I respect everyone's work that they do in what we do. And the thing is, they also have, I respect their time also.
Mm,
They may have their time with their families, their time with their jobs and schooling and everything else. So that's where a lot of it is just being respectful to everyone, and everyone's time. Because I know, like even in my career, I've supervised and managed as well, a
see,
department,
yeah,
and it's you want them to work really hard for you, and you want to reward them when it is time to be rewarded. Definitely, if they're slacking and so on, that's the time when you have to then be that leader and get on them to do their job. But
mm,
for the most part, if you have a good relationship with your team, they're going to follow you,
it's
and
true.
and that's really comes from respect both ways. You have to that's just life. You have to respect others if you
Yeah.
want them to respect you.
I like that a lot. I'm just gonna before I get back to that. Sister Annalyn Sanchez from Blue Diamond is saying great leaders are even more proven when the situation is in a crisis, and that's why we talked about that right earlier, being resilient. So yeah, that is very true, Sister Annalyn. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we also
Can
have
I
Sister.
can
Oh
I
yeah, go
mention?
ahead, go ahead,
No,
go ahead.
no. I saw Sister Annalyn's comment about Windows 95. I was just cracking up behind the scenes.
I don't even know what that means.
We were talking about moving forward and so on, but anyhow.
That's good. Yeah, Sister Annalyn, maybe you can impart more to me on what that means. I don't know. But also we have Sister Cindy De Campo from I think it's Phoenix. Is it Phoenix? Phoenix, right? Or in Arizona. I'm also tuning in. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Respect goes both ways. Just because we're in that leadership position, like Navas mentioned earlier, about it's just a position until it's proven, right? But that also like yeah, we want them to respect us, but we should respect them first, right? Like even if you're thinking, oh, but I'm a leader. Yeah, but like what Dap has mentioned earlier, they are humans with feelings, with emotions. But when they feel respected, what Ron has mentioned, if they are respected, they will actually respect you even more, and they will do more for you. What Ron has mentioned, what Dap has mentioned earlier, with the heart, but that comes from respecting them. And I really like what Ron has mentioned as well, where knowing, like, understanding, respecting that their time, so yeah, they work hard for us, but also they have their own tasks going on. You want to add more?
But well, but I'll be honest too. As far as being a leader,
Yeah.
sometimes when you can't get them to do things, it kind of goes back to you, and then
It's
you end up
true.
doing the work. So, it's hopefully you don't get into that situation too often. But that's where I mentioned earlier about the sacrifice. Sacrifice does
Exactly.
come in. You're doing it for the team, and again, it goes back to lead by example. So, yeah,
Yeah.
leaders, it is. Those are one of the other things that it's hard being a leader.
Yeah, you have to embody it, right? Like Dab has mentioned earlier. So that means if no one else is doing it, I'm sorry, you do have to do it. But hopefully, you are encouraging them, inspiring them, that later they'll be able to do it. But I will say this, because both Dab and Ron have mentioned it, right? Being able to be a good example. So for me, as an example, like as a follower, when I see my leaders being able to step up when no one else is doing the task, that makes me feel bad for myself, that hey, how come my leader is doing that and then I'm not, like, really stepping up. So yeah, that is very true, that you as a leader have to embody it. And then with your actions, it actually encourages us, because it's like, hey, my leader shouldn't be doing it all the time. But like what Ron has mentioned as well, if you have good relationship with your followers, they will actually do more for you, and they will respect you, and they will want to do more things for you. And of course, one of the things that we can do is uh being able to actually listen, oh sorry, listen, I want to say active listening to them, and be able to communicate, like, not like we're doing things and they don't even know, right? And then they're just surprised. So active listening is very important, being able to listen to them for their ideas. That way they also feel like, oh, I have a part of it. And then of course, as a leader, it's still up to you to be able to actually decide what is the best course of action. But at least you've put that to them, to have everyone have a say, right? To be able to say that. And that's why that is the most important thing in teamwork and collaboration. So that, but with that, how do you encourage collaboration? Like, of course, active listening to them is very important, but might be people in your team who may not be as vocal. But how do you encourage that flow? Being able to, for them to also collaborate and provide feedback to you.
Yes, thanks, Marie. So, I when it comes to trying to collaborate or get feedback or kind of like a teamwork from the people I work with, in the church or in the business,
Mm-hmm.
we uh we spend time to talk, because sometimes you only see the mistakes, maybe
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you only see that they lack this, they don't do this, but you don't really know what's going on in their lives.
That's true.
Sometimes it takes you and him or her to sit down and just talk, hear them out first. Maybe they're going through something that you
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but some people judge based on
Mm-hmm.
their work, but they don't really know what's going on. So
True.
I think to have a good teamwork, collaboration, feedback, talk to them heart to heart, because after all, like we've been talking about earlier, diba, everyone's human. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good point, Bob.
That is true. I really like that. You said, like maybe their work kind of diminished recently, and then it's easy to say, they're slacking. But you're right. We don't know what's going on in their life, right? They might be going through things that they can talk about, or they haven't been able to talk about. So, like I just said, I like it. You're very heart to heart person, that, so that's good. Like really figure out what's going on with them, and that's why it's important. That's important in being able to listen to them, be able to find out what happening, and that's actually what makes us, like be more empathetic to them. So that's really good. What about you, Ron? You are very, very good in collaborating, like with us. Like you don't just tell us what to do, but you make us feel heard. How important is that, do you think, in leading, in a leadership? Like because you get us to talk, but yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. What is your
Basically,
question?
why is that important in collaborating? Like, because you make us, based on my experience with you, I know I haven't had experience with that, but with you, have an experience with you. Make us feel heard, and you're very good in collaborating. Why do you think that's very important in a team to get our feedbacks, even though you are the leader and you are the one who decides what course to take anyway?
Well, hopefully, I'm not hurting anyone, but 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 no, like Dap mentioned, we're everyone's human, and really, I really embrace mistakes. You know, whenever we're not perfect, we
Yeah.
are human, but when mistakes happen, there's a reason why it happens, and you should learn from that mistake. And it's not so much the individual. It could be, but then also, maybe they were just used for that mistake for others to learn or for the
Mm,
whole team to learn.
true.
So, we shouldn't make that person feel bad or the team feel bad. We just have to really talk to everyone and realize what the mistake was, if it was a mistake, and learn from it so that the next time, um, we won't make that mistake again, and that's where we go back to resilience.
Yeah.
We've learned from that particular incident or whatever it may be, and we know the next time moving forward, it's just a matter of tackling it and knowing what not to do next time or what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, the mistakes actually is not just learning what not to do, but also learning, what to do, right? So that's very, very true. And we mentioned it earlier, like don't be afraid of mistakes, embrace them. The only way that we'll be able to move forward even more, and be able to learn from them. But yeah, that is the first thing that or first time I've ever heard that mistakes are not just there to help us what not to do, but help us what to do, so we know what to do better next time. Also, I just wanted to touch on that real quick as well, is that for me, being heard, being listened, is that because I am really a shy person. I'm an introvert. And so in a team, in a group setting, I actually have a hard time being able to give feedback. But when I have leaders, and these are multiple leaders that I've had for me in the past and even currently, is that when they are listening to me actively, then I know that I can give more feedback later. But like what Dap and Ron have mentioned earlier, mistakes are very important and to embrace them. So when I also know that the leaders are okay with, like getting those mistakes, or maybe they don't make us feel bad for having bad suggestions because it's a mistake of a suggestion, then that makes me even more to collaborate. And so I think that is super, super important. And so for our last thing here, last thing that we wanted to touch on, oh, actually my mom also said learning from each other. It's very, very important. Learning from each other. Again, as leaders, even if we are a leader, we can also learn from others. And so don't be afraid to continue to learn. And with that, we've touched on this earlier as well, is that recognizing potential from followers, but also those people around us, in order for us to encourage them to join our team, but also delegating. Okay, for me, I would think I'm pretty good in recognizing potential. I am not as good when it comes to delegating. It's not because I don't trust them. I think it's because I'm that, like, I just care so much for you. I just want to be able to help you succeed. But honestly, I think it's very important to succeed, for them to succeed when they're actually left. And like what we touched on earlier, is for them to also make mistakes, in order for them to be resilient. That, what about you? How good are you when it comes to delegating?
Yeah, so all right. I'll be honest, right? So delegation is one of my weakness, I would say.
Me too.
Just like everybody else, we have strengths, weaknesses, something like that.
Hmm.
So, but anyways, to recognize potential, that's really good for you as well, as you mentioned. That's a very good skill to have because you're kind of like know how to identify future
Yeah,
leaders,
exactly.
as you told earlier, right? So for that, maybe I would suggest to with regards to that question. So we as leaders, we have to change our focus, right? Sometimes we focus too much on our rights as a leader. Let's change it from
Mm,
rights to responsibilities. What are responsibilities of a leader? Like you said, we have to be able to at least try to recognize potential, and then also delegation is very important. And then also let's focus not on just control, right? Because leaders have control, but
mhm.
let's not really focus on control, but let's focus on contribution. How will we be able to contribute, and so we will be able to delegate very well, and so our people will see the contributions we've done, and then from there they will be able to see how to do it, and then that will help us when delegating stuff because they already seen how we did it, and then also the responsibilities that we showed them that we executed. About.
Exactly. So you mentioned, I really like that. So instead of focusing, you said focus on responsibilities. What was the word that you put earlier? I couldn't remember. You said don't think of it as this, but instead think of responsibilities. Do you remember what word you used? I just can't remember
Yes,
it.
yes. So I said change our focus from our rights to
Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah,
leadership rights. Mhm.
exactly. That's true. That softens it, right? And I think that with just that uh, change of thinking from rights to responsibilities, that actually as a leader makes you empathetic even more, like that, because you're not thinking, like when you said the rights is actually connected to control. So when you're thinking about responsibilities instead, then there's a heart there. You already added the heart there, and that makes you more empathetic to the people around you. So that's really true. That's great. But yeah, so everyone, let's continue to see the potential in others. I will say that Ron has mentioned it earlier. I just didn't want to say it right now because I wanted to end this discussion with this last thing, with this last point. But he's always supportive of us, so he doesn't hold our hands, but we know he's there, so that's why it's also very good with the delegation, because we're already doing it and he really lets us do it, like his skills are really graphics. When we do our promo graphics, I guarantee you he probably doesn't agree with all of with how we did it. He's probably thinking, "Oh, that's not the best," but he never corrects us. If it's not that important to correct, like if it's a major thing that we have to change, then yeah, right. But if it's a minor thing, you don't need to Dab has mentioned, the control. You don't have to correct every little thing and then make us feel bad. So yeah, if it's really really bad, then correct us. But yeah, so he allows us do our things, but also we know that he's there. He can help us. He steps in when he needs to. Ron, Dab, and I aren't the best when it comes to delegating yet, but you are. How do you do that? How do you put the trust in your team that, okay, I'll let them do it. I know they'll be successful, and even if they fail, it's okay. But yeah, how
Well,
do you do that?
it's basically to build confidence, because if I'm going to put you down, you're not going to want to try it again.
Yeah,
And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, you learn each time you do something new, or you learn something new, and each time you keep doing that task, you learn from it, and you actually become a better in this case of creating our promo graphics. Yeah, they're not the best, but we're not winning. We're not winning awards. We're trying to get the message out
exactly.
there. So if I can read the message and understand it,
Like understand it.
then
Yeah,
yeah, then you've done a great job.
yeah,
But again, you can improve on that as well. So that's where I just want to make sure that everyone builds their confidence. If you're taking photos, photography, the only way is to practice. I take
exactly.
photos every day because even as much as I I'm a photographer. There's still much to learn. There's so many different processes, and I'm not the best. I feel that I'm still not the best,
Mhm.
but practice makes perfect. So
Exactly.
in the case of just trying to delegate to everyone, it's just a matter of building that confidence to do it. You know, even I myself learning something new, it gets pretty difficult at times. But you know, I have to just tell myself or make myself confident to take on that task.
Exactly. Just want to read Kali on Antenor. She said, they said, very nice topic. I wish I have leadership skills. Let's go by setting the example first. That is already, you know, you don't need to be in a position to be a leader. Even just being followed, you can be a leader, whatever your position is in life. Being a good example. But yes, Ron, I just want to touch on that before we end the show. That is very, very true. Like, I'm just gonna give an example about the promo graphics because he knows it's not like it's a competition. You know, like if it's a competition, he will probably tell us what to do to correct it, right? He will be picky and he will tell us exactly what to do, but it's not, you know, unlike what is mentioned, as long as it gets the point across, that's important. So as a leader, I think it's very important for us to recognize when to be picky and when to
Hmm.
step back, you know. Yeah, and then honestly, even though Ron doesn't say anything about our promo graphics, for example, we know he's the best based on, you know, when he does actually make the graphics, we learn from it. So it's like he just didn't touch on us to say something. Okay, that's not as good, but like what he's mentioned, as a leader, we have to not make people feel down, our followers feel down. Otherwise, they're not gonna try again, right? But like what brother Dab and Ron have mentioned already, is that mistakes are important. You know, like we learn from them. So when your followers make mistakes, just let them, because they're smart. They know when they also make mistakes. Even at work, I know when I make mistakes. But I have a great boss who actually doesn't handhold me the whole time. You know, like I know when I make mistakes and he doesn't correct me unless it's a big mistake, you know. So yeah, it's very important to build that confidence, like what Ron has mentioned, to your followers. So with that, everything we talked about, a leader, everyone inspires motivation, encouragement from their followers, but honestly, not just their followers, even from people who may not be a leader, who may not have that leadership position, you can still inspire encouragement, motivation from others just by setting example. But also a leader leads from kindness. Fab has mentioned this a few times about, you know, like having the heart, being an empathy, having empathy to them. And Ron has mentioned being understanding of them. So it's very, very important to be kind, because remember, people are important. That's the first thing that's very important when it comes to leading. Um, think of responsibilities, you know, like that's what we should be focusing on, and not and less of control. And you know, like your people under you will not be perfect all the time. Don't nitpick because you want to build their confidence. I have confidence in creating promo graphics even though I know not the best at that. But you know, I saw Ron makes promo graphics and I'm like, I want to learn like that. So maybe I'll take continuous learning is very important, right? So maybe I'll take classes on my own, or like can see how he does things. But if he's already nitpicking me, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do next time, right? But yes, and then of course, a leader is a great support to the team. True leadership is actually being of service to others and not actually controlling them. And actually, you can't be a leader, right, if you can't follow. So yeah, that is the most important thing. And with that, it is actually our beloved executive minister, Eduardo V. Manalo's 15 years anniversary. He's a great leader in the church. Ron, can we start with you with your message to him for his 15 year leadership in the church?
Oh, to our beloved brother on Eduardo V. Manalo, congratulations on your 15th year of your dynamic leadership, and we wish the best for you and more blessings coming your way, Paul.
Thank you so much for that. Dap, what about you? A message for Eduardo P. Manalo, Brother Eduardo P. Manalo.
Yes, thank you, po. So for Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, we really, really appreciate everything you do for us. We've seen and we've felt how you love and take care of the church, to the local congregations, the district, and throughout the world. We feel your love, po, and we would like to let you know that we will be here for you as well, as you're always there for us, and we will continue to submit to the church administration for the glory of God. Thank you and congratulations po on your 15th year of dynamic leadership.
Thank you so much for that, Brother Dap. And with that, we actually do want to do our last segment because our district has been very, very active. But of course, this is through the leadership of our beloved Executive Minister, Eduardo V. Manalo. So with that, can we go through our CFO in action? so we can see what activities we had in the past week here in the District of Mountain States.
CFO in action.
All right, thank you for that. All right, everyone, if you were here, please let us know, okay, on Team Live Chat. But the Arizona region, we've held this recently in Arizona region that they had the CBI Christian Brotherhood International Unity Camp. I think that was actually, I believe that was last month, right? But we can see here they had fun. They had different activities. These are for students, junior high school, college students, no matter what your age, right? Because if you're a college student, you went back to school for college, you're still part of this. But this is actually a way for the students in the church to be able to connect with each other. But also, this is a platform for them to invite their classmates as well. So we can see here they had different activities. And I believe actually our district has been traveling all over. We had it in Nevada. This one was Arizona. I don't know if we had it in Utah and New Mexico yet. If we haven't, I'm sure we'll have it there soon. But yeah, of course, there's sports activities, but also food. I mean, food. And then, of course, the last weekend, they were actually here in Colorado. That was on a Saturday. So they had different booths here. Again, trivia booth, which actually was led by Sister Princess. We also had entertainment, and we'll probably see it here. We had entertainment, video, okay, which is like karaoke. I think it's the same thing. But yeah, so different activities. There's also a career building. I think that's what it's called. But basically, doing the resume. So Brother Miguel from local of Denver was actually there. Guiding them for the resume to prepare them, right, especially the college students. So yeah, but different activities, arts and crafts. We also had that. Not very artistic, but yeah, they had that. And of course, we had the different games here for team building. I think those are team building. But yeah, so everyone just kind of went to different booths in order for them to connect with other students as well. But yeah, definitely a different food. We saw burgers. We saw um, popcorn. Oh wait, no, not popcorn. Shaved ice and then cotton candy. So yeah, this was actually really good too. But yeah, so that was last Saturday. I don't know. I unfortunately couldn't be there because I got sick. But I think the weather was okay. Even though this was at night. I know in Nevada and Arizona maybe it gets hot even at night. But here it's
It
actually
got
cool,
windy,
right?
but yeah, it
It's
got windy,
windy.
but it was nice. Yeah.
It was nice. Not too hot, not too cold.
No, it was perfect.
Perfect. And then the next day, we had the CFO Christian Family Organization Family Fun Day. So thank you so much again, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada, for coming here to Colorado. We loved having you here. Thank you for being here. But yeah, as you can see here, we had different booths. I know like Denver, Denver and Nevada, actually. Denver and Nevada had Korean booth. So hope you enjoyed it. But we had a lot of food here. I was so happy that I was able to taste Sister Melka's crepes. I wanted to try that. But I also was able to try the shaved ice here. I wasn't able to get the popcorn. But yeah, we had different activities here. We had flag football. We had, but we also had different games that we were playing. So the flag football is, I think, the tournament that we really had. And then tug of war. But some brethren also set up like volleyball net. We were also playing badminton. Sack race, that was also a tournament. But we can see here, forgot what it's called, like the cornhole. Yeah, I love cornhole.
Cornhole.
Yeah, and then so we had that, and then kind of like cornhole, but yeah, like but football thing. But yeah, thank you so much for being here again. Here in Colorado, but for those who tune in to us today, thank you for tuning in. Brother Ram, Brother Ron, thank you for being here and imparting your knowledge. They are great leaders, not just in the church, but in their field as well. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. But of course, we will never be able to forget to say thank you to everyone who have allowed this platform, this INCRadio Mountain States to happen. We will start, of course, with our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Vimanalo. Thank you, Paul, again, for everything that you do for the church. Happy 15 years anniversary. Congratulations to your 15 years dynamic leadership of the church. We love you so much, Paul. And like my brother Dab has mentioned, we will always submit to you, Paul. And of course, our CEO and president of SEPSI and CFO, our CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Irani Manalo, our district minister, Brother Lowell Newcomb, our assistant district minister, Brother Oliver Canlas, our CFO overseer, Brother Christian Ross, and all of you who tune in to INC Radio. Thank you for tuning into another episode of INC Radio Mountain States. We will see you again next week here on INC Radio Mountain States. But please continue to tune in to INC Radio DZM 954, changing lives through God's words. Up next, everyone, is INC Radio Canada. Happy weekend, everyone. Bye.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.